Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us again on the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. It's good to have you join us on the show. So much going down in our world of sports. Yemi in London. Everyone is pumped up, looking forward to that fight between Anthony Joshua and, of course, AJ-Usyk. We're going to talk about our one big time on the show tonight. I'm also monitoring what's happening right there at the Afrobasket Championship. It's looking good for the Tigers. They lead as we get into halftime, and they've been controlling the game so far, Yemi. So Senegal not looking like any threat today.
All right, that's what it is. As a matter of fact, into halftime, 45 points to 31 is what the score is.
That's
right. We thought our hearts was going to be in our mouths, but it appears like, we can rest easy. But that's it. Austin, like you said, a confirmation. We already know one of the countries that will be in the final. It's Mali. Mali defeated Cameroon, 52 points to 51. And Nigeria currently battling it out with, of course, perennial rivals, Senegal. So that's one of the things we'll be looking at on the show today as well. Also, Austin, before we go into some of the specials we have lined up tonight, we'll also be talking about the English Premier League. Of special interest is Manchester City up against Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea has beaten Manchester City 3 times. In the last 3 meetings, they've beaten them, and Pep Guardiola doesn't want a repeat. We'll be talking about that. And of course, we'll also do our best to talk about the Ryder Cup currently going on. Looks like Europe still taking the lead.
Definitely an action-packed sort of sport. What you just, mentioned. There's basketball, there's football, there's boxing, and of course, there's golf also on the menu. And that's why we love it in our action-packed sort of sport. But yeah, Anthony Joshua and AJ-Usyk, each time I think about this fight and the value placed on it, a lot of people think it's just an ordinary fight, but if you look at this fight closely, there's so much in it that we cannot afford to blink.
You can't. A lot is at stake for both fighters. Usyk wants to be a champ. Joshua wants to be undisputed, and Usyk is standing in his spot. A lot of this riding on this for both boxers. But I also want to say something before we get along with it. Both fighters have been very professional. I like what happened today at the weigh-in. They just want to speak with their fists. At some point, I saw them tapping each other. Greeted each other respectfully. I don't always like the drama before the drama. Like, get to the ring, speak with your hands. Let's see your tactics. And whoever wins, it shows that both fighters have a lot of respect for each other.
I totally agree with you, and it is the character of Anthony Joshua that controls either his face-off with his opponents or the way in. If Anthony Joshua is not loud, he doesn't go, he doesn't give you all of those demeanors that will make you want to disrespect him. He's a perfect gentleman. And you could see the sort of respect his opponent, giving even before and after the fight. So I love it. And that's why we were pumped up right here in the United Kingdom that we're going to have a very good fight at the Tottenham Stadium. So, let's get into the conversation proper. Talk about this fight between Anthony Joshua and AJ-Usyk. It's the heavyweight division, and it gets too big whenever we have a fight coming from it. Ben Gray is a boxing promoter right here in the United Kingdom. We know he's done a lot of good works for Larry Kundayo, and he's been promoting boxing in Nigeria also. Ben Gray is standing by right here in London. Ben Gray, welcome to Sports Tonight. Good to have you on the show.
Great to be here, Austin. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Good to see you. What's that your Yoruba name again? The one we gave you when you came tonight?
Bolu.
Bolu. That's
Bolu.
Good. Bolu, good to have you on the show. You were at the weigh-in today for the fight between Anthony Joshua and AJ-Usyk. What you saw, who is the better man for tomorrow's fight?
Oh, it's a good question. And there was 4,000 people just at the weigh-in, Austin. And it was, both of them look very relaxed, like you say. They're both very professional guys. Usyk's a slightly crazier guy, but Anthony was cool, calm, and collected as per usual. It is going to be a very, very interesting night tomorrow night.
much of a good fighter is Usyk, and why must Anthony Joshua not underrate this guy?
Well, he's a great fighter. He's a pound for pound top 10 right now in the world. He's the former unified cruiserweight champion who's stepping up to heavyweight. He's actually a southpaw as well, which is always very awkward for someone to fight. So he's got all the tools to cause Anthony a very difficult night's work.
My colleague just mentioned that it was a very, friendly atmosphere. We saw it at the face-off. We also saw it at the weigh-in. And what were those things that you saw during the weigh-in that could get us pumped up for this fight tomorrow?
Well, do you know what? It's one of those fights that doesn't need pushing or shoving or bad-mouthing. These two are former Olympic champions, 2012. They're both the champions from their respective weight division, 2012. They're both great guys. They're both great boxers. It doesn't need pushing and shoving. This is a great heavyweight matchup, and we've come out of COVID lockdown, and this is the first big heavyweight title fight or boxing fight the UK's got. It's going to be 60 to 70,000 people there in the new Tottenham Stadium. It doesn't get better than this.
All right, Ben, let me just jump in and ask you this. A lot of people have talked about Usyk's speed. They expected that Joshua will come in probably a bit more lighter, but he didn't. He's still the same weight as he was in the last few fights. And this is going to be someone who is southpaw and someone who is orthodox. And there's always been this problem about people who have the orthodox stance always find it very difficult to face someone who's southpaw. So how do you factor all of that into the analysis of what we're going to see tomorrow?
Well, it's a good point you make. Obviously, southpaws are very used to dealing with orthodox fighters, where orthodox fighters aren't so used to using southpaws. So that's where the challenge comes. But if you look at Usyk's previous fights, he's got very quick feet and hand movement. When he fought up at heavyweight recently against Derek Chisora, he brought that speed up with him, and he's a very, very good boxer mentally. He's a very, very smart guy. So, he has no fear for Anthony Joshua. And Anthony has obviously, as we've seen after the Ruiz fight, has started thinking a little bit more about his boxing. So we know he can bring the power, the Niger power. He's got that. But he's actually started boxing a little bit more now. He's brought some people into the team that can add more layers to his skill set. So it's going to be really, really interesting. It could go, a lot of people are choosing either fighter. Is split 50-50 down the middle about who's going to win.
Let me ask you this again, and maybe after that, Austin is going to, come in with a few more. They've talked about Usyk and him not having the knockout power like Anthony Joshua. How much of a factor is that going to be? He's quick hands, quick feet, but Joshua has the eraser, and that could come in handy. And so, is that going to be a problem? Usyk looks like somebody who might be able to last long, but really doesn't finish off his opponents, doesn't have the powerful right like Joshua.
Well, he's not a one-punch knockout artist, but he's a very accurate puncher. And, it's boxing is a science. It's not just, as I say, crash, bang, wallop. And Usyk hasn't become Olympic champion and undefeated cruiserweight champion by just being a basic boxer. He's a master craftsman, and Anthony and his team know that, and they will be very wary of Usyk, certainly early on, and they want to be fighting their game plan rather than Usyk's game plan. But Usyk, that's what he does. He makes you fight his fight.
Very decent guy, I must mention. So Anthony Joshua and his team yesterday on the show, Ben Gray, I warned AJ's team that they cannot afford to be complacent, because the fight against Andy Ruiz has shown that if you blink, you'll be on the floor. Let's see the tail of the tape first, and know how important this fight is. If you look at them, almost in the same age bracket, but Anthony Joshua younger, 31, Usyk 34. The wins, look at it right there. Anthony Joshua 24, Usyk 18. Anthony Joshua just one loss. That's one I just mentioned to Andy Ruiz. This man is invincible. Talking about Alexander Usyk. And that is some good motivation for him already. KOs, Anthony Joshua 20, Usyk 13. And look at the KO percentage. Anthony Joshua, of course, Yemi just mentioned, is better. Height, Anthony Joshua is taller. Reach, Anthony Joshua is better. And is an orthodox boxer against a southpaw. When you look at this tail of the tape, Ben Gray, with experience in boxing, do you just give the fight immediately to Anthony Joshua?
No, you don't. I mean, what they do say is a good big one beats a good small one. But Usyk is an exceptional small one. And he, whilst he doesn't have knockout power, he has skills to burn. And I don't think that, we have to look at Anthony's height, reach, and power as his advantages. But Usyk's got advantages that hand and foot speed and boxing IQ. So it all equates to a very, very close fight. As I say, a lot of people in the industry are split down the middle. So a lot of people are picking Usyk, and a lot of people are choosing Anthony Joshua. So that's why it's going to be a fascinating fight tomorrow night.
I agree. That's the word. It's going to be a fascinating fight, and the fans are looking forward to that one. Let's listen to Anthony Joshua speaking right after that weigh-in. There's a mention. Let's listen to it. When we come back, we'll talk some more about it. Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Nigeria, yeah, so proud of his home country, Anthony Joshua. So whenever you guys pop up and say, "Oh, he's British," yeah, no debate. But he loves Nigeria. I'm sure Ben Gray, when he yelled Nigeria right there at the weigh-in today, you were proud, weren't you?
Definitely, yeah, I was very proud. I was really glad that he acknowledged Nigeria. Anthony Joshua is very proud of Nigeria. He loves the country. And I mean, in fact, I'm actually going to be taking a senior VIP from Nigeria to the fight tomorrow night, who's very interested in developing Nigerian boxing. And so, you guys will be the first to hear about this when we can talk about it in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully.
Love it. Anthony Joshua cut a lean, powerful, a bit intimidating, figure. You saw him right there at the weigh-in, 109 kilogram. Ben, when you looked at him, his shape, his outlook, the expressions he gave, is he ready for this fight?
Yeah, I thought he looked really good. He came in a stone and a half heavier, which I wanted him to come in not too light. He's got, he looks lean and he looks sharp. And I think that's important. He's obviously going to look to have some movement in his game plan tomorrow night, but he doesn't want to be too late and take away his natural advantages.
Okay. All right. Yeah, good. Ben, I want to ask a question that came to my mind when Austin was asking you some of those questions. The focus has been on Anthony Joshua, and you say a lot of boxing fans are split either way, some for Joshua, some for Usyk. We've looked at some of the fights he's won. Most of those fights are at cruiserweight, maybe a few at heavyweight, 2 or 3. I think 2 or 3. Will that count against him? Is fighting at cruiserweight different from heavyweight? Do you think he has adapted already? That's where I'm going. So how much of a difference will, fighting 90% of your fights at cruiserweight, then you're at heavyweight and you're up against a dominant fighter like Joshua?
No, it's a very astute point you're making there. If I was him, I would have probably had a couple more fights at heavyweight before challenging. But you never know when you're going to get your opportunities in this game. And Usyk really believes in himself. He's had 300 odd amateur fights. He's, as I say, he's Olympic champion. He's a very, very skilled boxer. He backs himself. So whilst, it might be an idea to have 1 or 2 more, if he missed the opportunity, when would he be able to fight Anthony Joshua next? So he's got to take that opportunity, as we all do in life, when they present themselves. And, he's very confident, and that's the best thing to go on.
All right, if looking at their last fights is what, basically that's what we have. You can look at Joshua's last fight and his own fight with Derek Chisora, and you look at those fights. For one fighter, it was easy for the other. It was rough and tough. You look at those two. Should that make us tilt towards Joshua and say, he might be more dominant? This guy seems to be struggling at heavyweight.
I think you've got to make Anthony Joshua a favourite. He is the heavyweight champion of the world, after all. But we can't underestimate someone like Usyk. Probably Usyk is the best fighter that he has fought since Vladimir Klitschko. So we cannot take our eye off the ball of this fight, and certainly Anthony Joshua can't. And I think he's learned that from the Ruiz first fight, when he suffered his first loss. So Usyk is a smart guy. Do not underestimate him. It's perfectly. Tyson Fury actually suggested that Usyk might have been boxing within himself in that first fight against Derek Chisora, because he didn't want to show too much of what he's got. As I say, he's not a knockout artist, but he's very accurate, very skilled, and Anthony won't be taking this lightly.
I totally agree with you. And it's all about strategy. If you see the way he's shedding weight with different opponents, you can tell that his team learned a lot from that loss to Andy Ruiz, and they're being careful and, putting a lot of strategy into it. So definitely we're going to see a good fight. And we will talk about Anthony Joshua more because he's the champ you just mentioned. And of course, he's got a belt, and Usyk is the challenger, but definitely they know that he's a guy that can hurt on his good day. We will go on a quick break. Ben, stay right there. When we come back, Anthony Joshua has shed pounds in recent years, leaving fans asking if the British heavyweight champion is deliberately slimming down or if it's strategy. We'll discuss that and we'll talk some more about this fight. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We are previewing that heavyweight boxing bout between the champ, Anthony Joshua, and the challenger, Alexander Usyk. And I've got boxing promoter Ben Gray right here in the United Kingdom. He's in London, just don't know where I am. And we're discussing about the possibilities of that fight. Ben, before I went on that break, I was talking about the strategy. Anthony Joshua shedding weight. We saw it in the second fight against Ruiz. We saw it in that fight against Pulev. Is this strategy? Is it that are they using this to confuse the opponent? You're close to the AJ team. What's this about?
Well, I mean, the argument was that Anthony Joshua was a little bit too heavy and that he was gassing late on in fights. So they brought Angel Fernandez, a trainer called Angel Fernandez, into the camp, who's a very, very smart guy. Got Joshua boxing a little bit more, and as you've correctly pointed out, shedding some weight so he can move and he's a little bit quicker on his feet. And I think, as we've seen at the weigh-in today, he looks good for it. He's still got that power, but he's a little bit lighter on his feet, which is good to see.
Awesome. Ben, what is in it in this fight for the United Kingdom? Because I look at this fight.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Chisora, and it was point victory. And I think he's fought about 2 different British boxers, and he's been successful. Is this fight beyond Anthony Joshua? Is it the UK saying enough is enough with this guy who is always taking down our boxers?
I don't think it just happens that they're, the centre of heavyweight boxing right now is the UK. So if you want to become heavyweight champion, Usyk's familiarised himself with the British fight scene. He's actually quite popular here. He's got a cheeky grin. He's got a nice manner about him. So he's actually quite popular. He fought Tony Bellew. He's fought Chisora. And everyone actually likes him. Just we're all going to be cheering on our boy tomorrow.
So that's it. We're previewing that fight between Anthony Joshua and, of course, Alexander Usyk. We have boxing promoter Ben Gray. Let's go to Lagos, Yemi. I'm sure you've been monitoring what's also going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I have. And this gives me a good opportunity to bring in Alfred Okoligwe. I'm very sure is itching to say a couple of things. Greetings to you, Alfred. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight. Quickly, let's get your thoughts on what we've been talking about for about 20 minutes, the fight tomorrow. What are you expecting to see?
The talk has been around AJ, shedding weight and the rest of them and looking a bit thin and not having all of these weight around it. But I think we just have to be expectant. Usyk, we know, is a very, very dangerous customer coming from the cruiserweight. So generally for me as a Nigerian, I expect AJ to win. And that's, I mean, the lesson of, getting cut out, he learned that when he fought Ruiz, of not giving room for a second chance. Take it when you can. I think it's done that, and he's kept his focus. He's fought after then, and I think he's found his way. This should be the fight that. This is not the fight that everybody wanted to see, but it's a necessary fight before we see the one that we really want to see. So I expect AJ to get this one, get in the bag.
All right, let me throw this one in quickly before I go back to Austin. You said this is not the fight everybody wants to see, and that's true. That's true. Everybody wanted to see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and they even have something signed. Do you think that is a distraction? Even most of the megastars, all of them saying today, look, Anthony Joshua, you have to beat this guy because we have to see you fight Tyson Fury. Is that going to be a distraction? Is that a burden or some sort? Because the boxing world seems to feel that AJ, you owe us, beat this guy, then allow us to see you against Fury.
For me, I don't want to see it as a distraction. I want to see it indeed as a motivation because you know that will amount to your biggest payday, and so I have to focus on this one, cross this hurdle, and go to that one everybody wants to see. I think for me, he will take it as a motivation to know that because that is the fight everybody wants to see, he has to work really hard to earn his place to go take that fight.
All right.
Let me take the conversation back to Ben Gray, who's been providing useful information as regards that fight tomorrow. Ben, before I let you go, any important information you want to pass across, particularly for the Nigerian audience?
Well, a couple of things. Lawrence Okoli, who is obviously Nigerian, is fighting for the cruiserweight title on the undercard. So watch out for him. And all Nigerian fight fans can tune into the fight via the DAZN app. If they download that, then you can all watch Anthony Joshua and Lawrence Okoli win their titles, and come on, Niger, let's cheer them on.
That's what it is. Thank you so much, Ben Gray. I might just stop by at the stadium tomorrow, catch up with you, and we'll talk about that fight when it's done. Ben, Bolu, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
So that's it. Boxing promoter Ben Gray loves Nigerian boxing and has been promoting Larry Kundayo for some time now. So we'll be previewing the fight between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. Our weighing was done today. Look at Anthony Joshua looking sharp, looking ready for that fight. That's the salute right there. And after that, he gave a shout out to Nigeria. That one really got me smiling, and I'm sure you are also proud. Alfred, before you joined, I said that, look, we're not contesting that he's British, but he loves Nigeria, and we're fine with that.
For me, he's one of us. It's our own. Anywhere else in the world can claim him. But we know I'm sure that he's grounded. He knows his root, and he has at every point in time told people out there that yes, I might be British, I might have received the Queen's honor, I might be popular around here, but hey, I'm that small Shagamu boy that everybody in Shagamu knows, and everybody knows where the family house is, and so to that extent, like I do on my radio shows, I'll tell you that he is a Nigerian, And the other part that wants to claim it, it's within their rights to do that, but we know where it's from.
So that's it. We'll wait for that fight to be done tomorrow, and then we'll continue to talk about it. But let's go to Yaoundé, the capital of Cameroon. That's where the semifinals of the Afrobasket Women's Championship is happening. End of the third quarter, Nigeria 60, Senegal 44. I'm so loving it, Alfred.
Well, that's a good one. Just following proceedings of that fight. I mean, they got the Senegalese where they wanted them, and when you go to the top quarter and you have that kind of lead, you don't feel that what you need to do now is to what you have you protect. Be as pragmatic as possible. If you know what works for you, this is the time to deploy it. And the Nigerian basketball scene is buzzing, especially the women's basketball. That is where because they have the full complement of the players that they want to have in that championship, it's no surprise that they're doing us good. They've won it twice, and hey, who says they cannot win it the third time?
That's right. That's what they're chasing. They're hoping to make history. They're playing so well. They are controlling the game. That's what I love about what I saw in the first three quarters, and they might just go all the way, make it to the final where they will meet the host, Cameroon. We cannot wait. Congratulations already to the Tigers, because they are stronger in the fourth quarter. There's nothing Senegal can do. End of third quarter, Nigeria 60, Senegal 44. Yeah, me?
Yeah, I had to sit back and let you guys take it. Very interesting. All we have to do is just hold out for 9 minutes. Fourth quarter has started already, and we still have that 16-point gap. And I mean, it wasn't as tough as we expected it to be. Not that we don't take it the way it is, but I mean, I thought, I'm not saying we've won this game, but it looks like we're going to win, and that's what's making me happy. And we are on course for the three-peat. Let me quickly use the opportunity to ask Alfred, did you ever doubt that we could do the three-peat? A lot of people were saying, okay, it's Senegal that's going to stand in front of the girls, but it appears now that they're handling that hurdle. So it looks like they might be able to do it.
It's looking likely that they will be able to do it. What I'm talking about.
Okay, I think we're losing Alfred.
Yeah.
You were trying to stay in the middle, but I couldn't hide it. I had to say congratulations to the D Tigers in advance, because with the way they're playing, I love how they approached it, and they've been so confident. They've been defending so well, making minimal mistakes. When they get an opportunity to shoot the free throw, they're making it. Ibekwe has been awesome. Adora Elenu doing a part, the entire team. And it goes to tell you that just what we said yesterday, that they're staying focused, they're sustaining the momentum, and they look unstoppable in this game against Senegal.
They do, and we can put the champion on ice now. It's surely we're going to have reasons. We're going to have reasons to celebrate very soon. Alfred is back. Alfred is back with us, and you were smiling when I talked about the champagne. It looks like
No, delay the party until the final. Just delay the party. You can ice the drinks, just delay the party until they get, because if you party too early, it might just work against you. I mean, the focus is winning the Afro-basketball. The three Ps you mentioned is something that will, make this set of girls. They've done something unprecedented. It's never been done before, and it just put them there as perhaps the best collection of female basketball team that we've had in ages. So for me, I think it's a question of if they cross the Senegal hurdle, just delay. I mean, you expect a very hostile atmosphere if it's Nigeria and Cameroon in the final. The fans are it's going to be a raucous arena. People will come at them, they'll throw all sort of things. We've seen it done before. Even in Senegal, when we beat them in the finals. But I think it's an experience that they've had in the past, and so that will count for something when if they make it to the finals, the battle Cameroon.
All right, so we're done with the Afrobasket. We're not done. If there's something to report, we'll go back to it. But it's going to be something positive. Hopefully, we're still maintaining we're maintaining that lead. But we have to move on the show. Let's go to the English Premier League, where there are some interesting things to talk about. Let's show you the fixtures, and of course, Austin will take us through some of the stories behind the scene. Of course, this weekend it's about Thomas Tuchel and Pep Guardiola. Guardiola has lost 3 times in recent times to Thomas Tuchel. But here are the fixtures. Easily pick of the pack. Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United and Aston Villa. Everton taking on Norwich. You also have Leeds United taking on West Ham. Other fixtures, Leicester will take on Burnley. Watford will take on Newcastle. Brentford will take on Liverpool. These are the fixtures for Saturday in the English Premier League. All right. Of course, the conversation has been about Thomas Tuchel and Pep Guardiola on opposite dugout. Southampton also against Wolves on Sunday. Arsenal against Tottenham. This also very huge. A lot of focus will be on that game between Chelsea and Manchester City. Let's quickly listen to Pep Guardiola talking about his team having learned their lessons and hopefully that they're going to get it right. We do that. Then we get the thoughts of Alfred on what he expects to see this weekend. All right, that's it. Let me quickly go to Alfred. In a few minutes, we'll be going on the break. But Alfred, sneak in your thoughts for us. In a few minutes, we have Pep Guardiola. You've listened to him. Later, we're going to listen to Thomas Tuchel. But he has lost 3 times. And he's been accused of overthinking. Some people call him now... they call him... What's the name they call him now? The checkbook manager. That's what they call him these days. But your thoughts on what Pep should do?
I think it is time for Pep to step up. We can't lose 3 times on the trot against one manager. Chelsea are a team on the rise. I mean, the addition of Lukaku just makes them a different proposition altogether. And I think that is what Manchester City have not been able to do this season. Quality addition to their team. They just believe in the kind of football they play. Pep just keep touching this ball and playing. And so they have to do something differently. Their start this season has not been that superb. Already they have a loss under their belt, and so I think the pressure this time around is on Pep for Manchester City to win. Don't forget that they are defending champions of the EPL. And Tuchel has come out boldly to lay the marker. I'm in England to win. I want to win titles. I want to win everything. I want to advance in the cup, everything. That's what's in the DNA of Chelsea. And he's shown that he doesn't like losing. And something has to give. League champions. Perhaps maybe if Tuchel has started the league with Chelsea last season, they may have. That's just a probability. So Guardiola have to just step up this time around, and I think they understand the enormity of the job they have at hand.
All right, that's it. Both managers warning us and saying whoever loses or whoever wins, nobody's going to be given a title tomorrow. There's still a lot of matches to be played, but I'm very sure both want to win. All right, we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll flip it. We'll try to listen to what Thomas Tuchel has to say, and of course, we'll try to wrap things up in the few minutes we have left. First, we need to go on that break. All right, that's Thomas Tuchel. Austin, you've listened to both managers, and of course, they're in your backyard, and there's probably something else that is probably going on behind the scenes we're not privy to at this moment.
Yeah, I like what Thomas Tuchel tried to do at that presser, and say, look, there's no rivalry here. When did I come into the league? It's some mind games there, but we understand that when you have this sort of big games, it goes beyond the players or the club, and then it falls on the managers. And these are 2, top managers. And the advantage, to an extent, is on Tuchel because of the rise Chelsea is experiencing at the moment. They're top of the table. They've played 5, won 4, and drawn just 1. And this is a good test for his team. But aside from the game that we're expected to see, fans in the United Kingdom have been asking, who made this draw? We just matched the 6, and we've seen some of the big games already in the English Premier League. And this game between Manchester City and Chelsea is not letting us talk about the London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham, which is a big game, in itself. So the English Premier League just started and it's already getting intense, Alfred.
Interestingly, both teams, for Tottenham and Arsenal, teams with Tottenham started well. That started like the house on fire. We thought this season it's not going to be like the old Tottenham we know. But somehow they've since they have to find a way of solving the hurricane issue. And I will know that for Arsenal, the coach, I think the decision of whether to start Ramsdale or Leno in goal for Arsenal, I think that has solved itself somewhat because Ramsdale has come in and is keeping shit. And Arsenal fans are like, they should change the number, find a way of changing the number, making Ramsdale number one. And Leno, but it's sort of this. Arsenal will have their biggest test yet in the game against Tottenham. Yes, they didn't start too well. They lost their first 3 games, which is unprecedented. It's never been, not in recent history does it happen. But they bounced back off that to advance not only in the to win 2 games in the league, progress in the cup, and so they will be. In their mind, they will be thinking they've turned the corner, and the proof of turning that corner is getting the result against Tottenham Hotspur. And for Tottenham themselves, Harry Kane has yet to score in the league. I think he wants to put that behind him. So it's a London derby. It's one of those games that you want to see on a Saturday, and I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm looking forward to it. As now, that might just, if they get something out of that one, that might just, kickstart their season properly. And you mentioned Tottenham also with all of their early struggles, they can just also use that to get into it. Another important game is Brentford taking on Liverpool. Potential, banana peel for Liverpool. They cannot afford to underrate the newcomers. They should go ask Arsenal, and when Brentford are playing at home, they look formidable. So we'll leave it at that. It's match day 6 in the English Premier League. We'll continue to talk about it when the games are played right here on Sports Tonight. But let's go to Yaoundé. Updates coming from the semi-final match between Nigeria and Senegal in the women's Afrobasket. It's a fight. Senegal trying to cut the lead now. It's 63-53, Alfred. 65 to 53. The D Tigers still keeping their lead, and we have just about 5 more minutes to play.
That's a whole lot of time in basketball. 5 minutes, a whole lot of time in basketball. And so I think at this time, games management will come into play. How do you manage the game? What do you do in the last 5 minutes? Do you rotate this? Do you rotate the ball, keep the ball as much as possible, and see whether you have to drive it to win, to get points free throw from the free throw line, or you shoot from the outside. At this point in time, now this is where coaching comes in, because if you don't manage the game properly, you lose it.
That's right. So Nigeria trying to keep the ball, avoiding mistakes. Senegal also doing the same thing, but the D Tigers defending so well. Okonkwo just avoided, another point for the Senegalese team. So yes, Alfred, I totally agree with you. This is the part where you show some good character to go on to either win or you suffer a comeback. So it's still Nigeria 65, Senegal 55, Yemi.
As a situational report, it's just about 4 minutes now, 4 minutes to the end of the game. And I agree with you guys. Game management is key. 4 minutes is a long time in basketball. If you're careless, a lot of wrong things can happen. We're going to see if we can stay with this. We were hoping that the game will end while we're on set, but it appears that might not be the case. So we'll have to leave it at that. All right, so we have to close. Time moves fast when you are having fun. First, I want to thank Alfred Okoligbe for his time on the show tonight. Hopefully, we'll do this again another time.
Looking forward to it already. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating.
All right, from Lagos, I want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoyed this. We'll be back here again next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
It was a delight to have you join us to talk sports. Let's do this again next week in London. I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.